overthinking. I had a plan with somebody here. We had a plan, an arrangement. And because of something, I said, are you sure you still want to come? He said, Auntie, because of this small thing that you think I've changed my mind like that. I overthought it. These are the things that torment you sometimes. If you are quarreling with somebody, the first person to slap is usually the one who is more reactionary. It's like you feel it and it's like, this is anger. I feel it. Okay, what do we use anger to do? I'm going to answer like this. But this anger, I will keep it here just in case he's messing up again. Then I can unleash it on him, that kind of thing. When I'm talking about certain things, some topics that we bring up on the podcast, it seems superficial. Like there are more important issues for us to be talking about than things like this. But I'm going to tell you why it's important. Let's say, for example, your self-awareness has made you understand that you have a tendency to lash out with your words. You can say the meanest things when you're upset. Now, you have somebody that you love, like your brother, your sister, even your parents, and they're upsetting you. When you know this about yourself and there's no judgment, you know that, okay, this is the situation where this type of thing, this kind of behavior comes out. It is only self-awareness that can help you understand that this is the behavior you have and this is when it comes out. And so when there's a temptation for it, you don't always have the opportunity to control yourself in that situation. But sometimes you do control yourself. And when you do, you'll be happy with yourself. You know that people respect people who have emotional control. You know, when something is happening and you don't seem to be fazed by it, people see automatically it's signaling that you are in control. You know something they don't know. You know that naturally, for you to understand what is happening in the environment, you actually have to be non-participant in it. So if you're watching, you'll be taking more information, and that can help your decision making, help you process more, process faster. The thing now is that there's a dark side to self-awareness. When you now know yourself and you understand how the things that you say or do can affect people, and you're trying to separate your inner being from reactions and, the triggers that you may have, it causes certain things like overthinking. There's a time when I had this conversation with somebody. We had a plan. No, this is not a story I can tell. I had a plan with somebody here. We had a plan, an arrangement. And because of something, I said, are you sure you still want to come? He said, Auntie, because of this small thing, you think I've changed my mind like that? But I don't want to use that example. I thought about it too much. I overthought it. And apparently that is, it's unheard of. So that's what it can do to you. Situations are just there. It doesn't matter as much. But if you are self-aware, sometimes you now want to try to be as cautious as possible when you're making decisions and overanalyzing and analyzing situations that you sometimes overthink and overanalyze. The example I gave in the beginning of this episode about the man that is laughing anyhow when he's with a rich man, perhaps if he has some self-awareness, he goes home and is wondering why he's laughing so much. That is something that can happen in any given situation. I might say good morning to somebody, and then when I go back home, I'm thinking, why did I say good morning like that? I'm talking and my voice should be confident. It should be low. It should be like this. And if I notice that I speak to somebody and my voice kind of like went a few notches higher in tone, like this, I'm talking like, I might not think to myself, why are you talking up like that? Why is it's feminine? But these are the things that torment you sometimes. I want to say it takes a certain level of self-awareness to be able to conquer that. But honestly, I don't know what conquers it. Or I could ask ChatGPT what conquers it. What conquers the overthinking that comes with self-awareness? ChatGPT says, acceptance. Not every thought needs fixing. Action. Do small things instead of spiraling in analysis. What is do small things? I don't have time to ask it another one. Presence. Grounding yourself in what's happening now. That's something that if you have self-awareness, you struggle with because you're always in your head analyzing things. Boundaries. Limit rumination time. Set a thinking cutoff. That is beautiful. So if I want to analyze something, I tell myself I'm going to do this for 15 seconds or 1 minute. And if 1 minute is over, I think if you practice it, 1 minute automatically times in your head. Compassion. Treat your mind like a friend, not an enemy. Simplicity. Focus on one truth at a time. Truth is very important because a lot of things you just make them up in your head. And then expression. Journal or talk it out to release mental thought. That's one thing. If something is happening, if your head is packed with stuff. Just start writing it, start removing it. It goes. It actually goes. That's a that's a true fact. For real, for real. Right. Back to the main episode. But then if you think now there's a difference. People who have self awareness obviously have time to ruminate over decisions before they make them, especially in the moment. If you are quarreling with somebody, the first person to slap is usually the one who is low in self awareness or has a is more reactionary. If something happens, like an emotion comes, something is supposed to annoy you, you feel the anger, and it's like I'm related to call it Aikido. If if it's like you feel it and it's like, this is anger. I feel it. Okay, what do we use anger to do? What do we use this anger to do? All right, I'm going to answer like this. But this anger, I will keep it here just in case he's messing up again. Then I will unleash it on him, that kind of thing. So, but that is what like a more mindful, self-aware person might do with anger. But if you're not very self-aware, once anger comes, you're like, yes, 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 and then you start reacting. And then when you calm down, you're like, why did I behave like that? So if you find yourself reacting a lot, then something you can do to build more self-awareness is mindfulness. Be more mindful of the situation. Pay attention to what is happening right now and see what it can do to you. So mindfulness, and then it will help you with anticipation. Especially if you're quarreling with your partner, like you're quarreling with your babe or your boyfriend, you know that you've been here before, you've quarreled before, and you've said things that you didn't like before. So now, know that you are quarreling. Have that presence of mind that you're quarreling. And then to help you, when he now says something bad and she says something bad that you know that might get you to do something that escalates the situation, you can now think and separate yourself from it. You can also start journaling, writing your thoughts and feelings down. They help you understand the kind of person that you are. If you understand the kind of person that you are, you make better decisions because now you know your tendencies and what they are most likely to lead you to. If I'm the kind of person that finds something new and exciting extremely stimulating, and I go down that rabbit hole a lot, I know that I'll be too prone to addictions. And so if something is new and exciting, I become cautious of it. And if I try it once and it's so new and exciting, oh, fantastic. We'll start living it small, small because you know what this can do to you. That kind of thing. And then feedback reflection is the last one here that is very, very helpful. When you analyze yourself, actually, now you see what you've done and you reflect on it and see if there was something you can do better in that situation. Not, well, how does this make me look? But like, what can I do better in this situation for a better outcome? If we are quarreling somewhere, there's an outcome. We want something to happen. Say, for example, you're trying to make a decision. When we were in camp, OBS were trying to, I was in OBS, and in OBS, we were trying to decide what kind of gift to leave for that camp. And the meeting was a bit rowdy because everybody was talking and things like that. But people who had disagreements in that meeting with each other have a common goal to come up with the most thoughtful and useful gift for the OBS. But they were quarreling. So if you find yourself in that quarrel now, when you go back home, you can now start thinking, okay, what could I have said or done in that meeting to ensure that we didn't quarrel that much, but we also achieved the goal of the meeting. That's feedback reflection. So the final thing here is how we can practice this thing to make sure that we are more equipped with what is this name again? With emotional intelligence and with self-awareness. There are two particular things we can do. One is pausing before reaction. When something happens, give yourself a second or two. When something happens, give yourself a second or two. The initial rush and the urge to react to it will come, but it fades very, very quickly if you give it time. And once it fades, you have the free roam of, your mind is free to roam and you have the clarity of thinking to decide what's best for that situation. I've learned things about how to react to rude people and what to say when somebody tries to undermine you in certain situations and things like that. Like, there's this guy, Jeff Fisher. He's the expert on that stuff. There are times when I've encountered things like that and I still messed it up. And then I remembered later, this is what I was supposed to do. So it would have been such a perfect response. But I messed it up because, I wasn't mindful. I wasn't paying. I didn't pause to react. The second thing is something that men struggle to do, and is to name your feelings. It's not angry and fine. Those are the little feelings we have. There is moody, there is confused, there is sad. You can feel a lot of emotions. And if you know the names of emotions, name them when you feel them. Like in your head, though, it's not to complain to people up and down, but in your head, recognize the emotion you're feeling and name it in your head. So when you know it, You can identify it so it doesn't control you. It's something that is coming to chill with you in this particular moment in time because of this trigger. And then you can control it and control how you react to it. Remember to live, learn, and execute. See you on the next one.